Okay, so I said my piece about what I found to be negative in Elden Ring, and if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. But in this video, I wanted to point out one thing that this game absolutely nails in terms of world building. And if you couldn't guess by the title of this video, yeah, I'm talking about the Erdtree. Right out the gate, from the very beginning, within the first hour of the game, you are tasked with getting to the base of the Erdtree. And it's like, so what the hell's an Erdtree? Oh my god, you mean that big-ass thing right there? Holy shit! And what's really cool about the Erdtree is that you can see it no matter where you are on the map because of how freaking gigantic it is. The tree serves not only a lore purpose in relation to the game's world, but also as a constant reminder of what your end goal within Elden Ring is. That new weapon you picked up? That's gonna help you get to the base of the Erdtree. Same goes for any stat increases, new spells you learn, everything you do is furthering you toward that goal. So now it's almost like One Piece, you know how they keep talking about the One Piece and it's supposed to be this like treasure that the crew still hasn't found 1,000 episodes later? You begin to wonder, okay, what am I gonna find at the base of the Erdtree if the rest of this world is so expansive and large where there's so much more to find? This sort of game design reminds me a lot of Majora's Mask. I don't know how many of you in the comments are Zelda fans, but Majora's Mask is up there as one of my favorite games of all time, and anything that you're doing in modern gaming that relates to Majora's Mask gets brownie points from me. In this instance, I'm talking about the moon in Majora's Mask versus the Erdtree in Elden Ring. In Majora's Mask, the moon is a constant reminder of the task at hand, because you can see the moon from any area in the game, as long as you're outside, of course. The moon is going to fall in 3 days, and you've got to figure out a way to stop it within that allotted time. If you don't, it's bad times for everybody, and the moon constantly approaches day after day the closer you get to the third and final day, where there are ground tremors and the music quickens its pace within the town to really get across that sense of impending doom. Now, Elden Ring doesn't go balls to the wall with this idea like Majora's Mask does, no offense, but I love when a game ties its endgame goal behind a tangible endgame object. Again, everything you're doing in Majora's Mask revolves around the moon falling, while everything you do in Elden Ring revolves around the Erdtree. While Majora's Mask changes the dynamic with the moon to get closer and closer as the day goes by, Elden Ring keeps the Erdtree as a constant for the majority of the game to build up that sense of familiarity you have with the Erdtree. Like I said before, you can always see it, whether you're in a snowy biome, a foresty area, wherever you are. And spoilers, by the way. Whenever you end up burning the Erdtree, it affects the entire map to show that what you just did is a world-changing event and a very real consequence for the denizens of Elden Ring. Remember the Round Table Hold? Yeah, it's up in flames, and all the NPCs you were used to finding and talking to there? They all up and left because the hold began to crumble around them after you burned the tree. And the only two that do stay behind there grow weaker and weaker, with the blacksmith, which trust me, you're gonna see him a lot in the game, starts to fail to recognize you as he just becomes more and more diluted and weak as the Round Table Hold progressively collapses into nothingness.
But I'm going the way of the Round Table. It was a great honor to make the weapons during my time here. Allow me to call you this just once before it ends, my lord. For that is what you are.
But it's not just the Round Table Hold that changes. When you look at the Erdtree before you burn it, it's this tall, glowing structure that feels massive and giant and so prominent within your view pretty much all the time. But after you burn it, it becomes a shell of its former self. It's still big and grand, but it almost becomes transparent because of the fact that it's burning, becoming harder to see ever so slightly. So now you have a big, giant, burning Erdtree in the background, which you would think is enough of a big deal to show a significant change, but the devs still wanted you to feel more of the Erdtree's impact. You'll now see embers of the Erdtree permanently floating around most areas of the game as a constant reminder of what you did to the Erdtree. At first, I thought it might be the embers were just area-specific. But no, it's literally because the Erdtree is burning that they are now permanently dispersed across every area of the map. How cool is that? That's how you make a video game. Start by showing me this massive landmark so that I get used to it being there, and make it the place I'm supposed to eventually go. But then flip the script on me so that I burn it with world-changing events as a consequence of what I did. Frickin' genius. All of these details and more make the end of the game all the more satisfying. You visit the base of the Erdtree twice with an Elden Ring, once at the halfway point and once more at the end of the game once you've burned it. At the halfway point, you venture into the capital Leyndell that surrounds the Erdtree, a city with massive structures, stairways, and walkways, making it feel like this interconnected city that's just void of any people. A fallen kingdom of sorts, if you will. But on your second visit after burning the Erdtree, boom! Ash is just absolutely everywhere. The place is completely unrecognizable. There's a real sense of finality here as you venture toward the base of the Erdtree one more time, with completely new bosses blocking your way, trying to prevent you from becoming Elden Lord. And once you do finally get to the base of the Erdtree and cross through the blinding light where a bunch of thorns previously blocked your path, and hear this variation of the main theme rise to a crescendo as you fight this teleporting badass, the game reaches this peak where it just feels like it can't be touched. And then you fight the Elden Beast and remember why you hate the game.